Gini impurity. Entropy works well, but there's a simpler impurity measure used widely in practice. It's called Gini impurity. It often gives the same split decisions. With lighter computation, Gini of S equals 1 minus the sum of P of class squared. You square the class probabilities, add them up, subtract from 1, no logarithms involved. Here's the intuition. If you randomly label a sample using the class proportions, Gini is the probability of being wrong. A pure node, Gini is 0. A 50-50 binary split, Gini is 0.5. That's the maximum for a two-class problem. Let's visualize this for a two-class problem. As the probability of class 1 goes from 0 to 1, both Gini and entropy start at 0, rise to a peak and fall back to 0. Entropy peaks at 1 bit, Gini peaks at 0.5. Different scales, but the same shape. Both agree on what's pure and what's mixed. That's why they usually pick the same splits. For the tennis data with 9 yes and 5 no, Gini is 1 minus 9 over 14 squared, minus 5 over 14 squared. That's 0.459. Entropy was 0.940, different scale, but same conclusion, moderately mixed. When we rank splits, Gini and entropy usually agree. In tennis, outlook still wins with the highest gain. Humidity is second, wind is third, temperature is last, same ranking, same tree, the main trade-off. Gini is computationally cheaper, no logarithms, just squares. Entropy has a deeper information theory interpretation. On large datasets with many candidate splits, that speed difference can matter. In practice, CART and scikit-learn default to Gini. ID3 and C4.5 use entropy. In modern libraries, switching the criterion is just one parameter. So try both and pick whichever validates better. Gini impurity is a practical impurity measure, simple, fast, and usually close to entropy in outcome. Use validation to choose what works better on your data.